The blood doesn't smell right. That's what Vexali notices first as she watches the new acquisition stumble into the holding pen. She's been running intake for the Cauldrith pits for 6 cycles now, long enough to recognize the copper iron stink of a dozen species. But this one's different. Thicker. Almost sweet beneath the rust. The human doesn't look like much. Average height by galactic standards maybe 1.8 meters. Lean muscle over a compact frame. His skin is darker brown, scarred across the knuckles and one eyebrow. He moves carefully, testing the 0.6 G environment of the station with each step, and Vexali marks it down as caution. She doesn't yet know it's restraint. The manifest calls him Marcus Webb, Terran origin, sentenced labor, 27 local years old, convicted of assaulting a trade official on Proxima Hub. The notation at the bottom makes her mandibles click with amusement. Species clearance. Pending. Death world classification unconfirmed. Vexali has never seen a human before. The Syndicate paid 40,000 credits for him. They expect a show. They're going to get one. The Cauldrith pits smell like industrial cleaner failing to mask organic decay. Marcus takes shallow breaths through his mouth as the 4-armed overseer Vexali. Her nameplate reads, processes him through intake. The station's gravity is wrong, too light, making every movement feel like he's about to drift. His inner ear keeps screaming that he's falling. He's not falling. He's just in a new kind of hell. Hand. Vexali says in flat, translator-modulated English. Her voice has a clicking undertone the software can't quite smooth out. Marcus extends his right hand. She clamps a metal band around his wrist, some kind of alloy that runs cold against his skin even through the fabric of his prison jumpsuit. A holographic display flickers to life above it. Biometrics, he assumes. Heart rate. Blood oxygen. Maybe a kill switch if he's unlucky. You understand the contract? Vexali asks. I understand I didn't sign shit, Marcus says. Her mandibles flutter irritation or amusement. He can't tell. Your sentence was purchased by Syndicate Holdings. You fight. You win, you earn value. Earn enough value, you buy your freedom. And if I lose? Medical services are expensive. She meets his eyes with all 4 of hers compound clusters that refract the blue-white station lighting. Don't lose. She leads him down a corridor that curves with the station's rotation. Through reinforced glass panels, he glimpses the arena. A circular pit maybe 40 meters across, ringed by tiered seating that climbs into shadow. The floor is dark sand over some kind of shock-absorbing substrate. Stains discolor patches of it to rust brown and chemical yellow. They pass other holding cells. Marcus catalogs faces a reptilian creature with crystalline scales hunched in one corner. Something that looks like an upright mantis, its bladed forearms scoring marks into the wall. A massive quadruped with tusks and eyes that track him with prey-animal fear. How many fights? Marcus asks. As many as it takes. That's not an answer. Vexali stops at a cell door number 47. Stenciled in a script he doesn't recognize and a number he does. She palms the lock. Current record holder earned freedom in 32 matches over 4 cycles. She was Krevta. Naturally armored exoskeleton. Neurotoxic saliva. A pause. You are soft. Marcus steps into the cell. It's 3 meters square. A shelf that might be a bed. A waste facility that's definitely primitive. A water dispenser that drips. Soft, he repeats. Your file says you attacked a trade liaison with your fists. Vexali's tone carries something that might be pity. He suffered minor contusions. You broke your own hand. Did I? Medical scans confirmed fractures in 3 metacarpals. Marcus flexes that hand, now the right, his dominant side. It had healed on the transport ship. The bones had knitted back together the way they always did, denser than before. His knuckles ache with the memory. He was trafficking kids from the outer colonies. I should have hit him harder. Vexali tilts her head, insectoid and too precise. Irrelevant. You fight in 2 solar hours. Your opponent is threshold class semi-sentient, aggressive, suitable for a debut match. She turns to leave, then pauses. Advice, human. Make it entertaining. The audience bets on style as much as survival. Die well, and your remains will be returned to Terran space. Comforting, Marcus says. The door seals with a hydraulic hiss. Marcus sits on the shelf bed and feels it sag under his weight, designed for something lighter, friendlier. The station's gravity is already giving him a headache, his proprioception screaming wrongness with every micro-movement. He closes his eyes and tries to center himself the way the Corps taught him, back before the dishonorable discharge, back before Proxima Hub. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. He'd known the sentence was bad when they handed him over to non-Terran authorities. The human colonial legal network didn't have jurisdiction this far out. He'd assaulted a registered merchant on a multi-species station. The fact that the merchant was buying 8-year-olds for organ harvest didn't matter to the contract courts. So they sold him. Poetic in a sick kind of way. Marcus opens his eyes and examines the cell. The walls are some kind of polymer composite, smooth, seamless, probably reinforced. The glass panel facing the corridor is 30 centimeters thick. No obvious ventilation, which means it's integrated into the wall structure. The water dispenser is bolted down with tamper-proof fasteners. Nothing useful. Nothing he can improvise into a weapon or a way out. He's run scenarios like this a dozen times in training. Prisoner of war protocols. Survival, evasion, resistance, escape. The acronym tastes bitter now, SEER. He'd washed out of the program twice before they stuck him in logistics. Turned out he was too aggressive for special operations, too insubordinate for regular service. Too human, one evaluator had written. Insufficient emotional regulation for deep cover work. Yeah, that tracked. A chime sounds through the cell, harsh, discordant. Marcus stands automatically, muscle memory from 100 prison wake-up calls. The door opens. 2 guards flank the entrance. Both of them hulking things in armor that looks like a fusion of ceramic plating and organic carapace. They carry shock staves that crackle with violet energy. Move, one says. The translator renders it in flat English, no infected nuance. Marcus moves. They escort him through the curved corridors, past more cells where things watch him with hunger or fear or cold calculation. The arena noise grows louder, a crowd murmur that builds like distant surf. Beneath it, a rhythmic pounding. Drums, maybe, or the alien equivalent. The prep chamber is stark. White walls, surgical lighting, racks of weapons along one side. Vexali waits there with a technician, a spindly creature with too many joints in its fingers. Choose, Vexali says, gesturing to the weapons. Marcus scans the rack. Blades of various lengths and curves. A few polearms. Something that might be a mace or might be a ritual object. No firearms that tracks. They'd want the fights visceral, personal. Safer for the audience, too. He selects a machete, 40 centimeters of straight blade, weighted for chopping. The grip is wrong for his hand, made for something with different finger proportions, but he can adapt. He tests the balance. Decent. The edge is sharp enough to catch light. Projectile weapons are prohibited, Vexali says. Energy shields are prohibited. Armor is prohibited for threshold matches. You fight as you are. Great, Marcus says. He's still wearing the prison jumpsuit, thin synthetic fabric. Blue-gray, no protection at all. The technician approaches with a device that looks like a chromed spider. Before Marcus can react, it presses the thing to his temple. There's a flash of cold, a whine of energy, and then, ladies, gentlemen, and honored guests of all designations, the voice explodes inside his skull, loud enough to make him stagger. Not sound. Direct neural input. The translator implant they'd installed on Proxima Hub, now hijacked for arena communications. Easy, Vexali says, steadying him with one of her 4 hands. Arena commentary is routed through your translator. You'll adjust. Tonight, the Cauldrith Pits are proud to present a debut match of exceptional rarity. Marcus grits his teeth. The voice is enthusiastic to the point of mania, writing syllables like a carnival barker from some old Earth vid. From the recently catalogued world of Terra A Class 9 Death World, ladies and sentients, W bring you a human. The crowd noise changes pitch. Surprised. Interested. Shit, Marcus breathes. Vexali's mandibles click rapidly. Class 9? The manifest said classification was pending. Facing him, a Vrel hound from the tidal marshes of KSSHAR, 800 kilograms of muscle, fong, and primal hunger. The door at the far end of the prep chamber irises open. Light and sound pour through bright spots. The roar of the crowd, the smell of bodies and spilled drinks and old blood. Go, Vexali says. She's looking at Marcus differently now. Her eyes linger on his hands, his legs, his chest. Cataloging. Reassessing. Survive human. Marcus walks toward the light. The arena is smaller than it looked from the corridor. 40 meters becomes nothing when you're standing in it. The sand shifts under his feet, each step sinking slightly in the low gravity. The crowd rises in tears around him. A circular amphitheater packed with species he's never seen. Scales and fur and chitin and things that don't fit easy categories. Holographic displays float above the seating, showing odds, statistics, slow-motion replays of previous fights. On the far side of the arena, a gate is rising. Will the human's death world evolution prove sufficient? Or will the Vrel hound add another Terran to its tally? The thing that emerges from the gate moves low and fast. 6 legs, powerful haunches. A head that's all jaw and sensory tendrils. Its hide is mottled gray-green, slick with mucus that catches the light. 800 kilograms, the announcer said, but in 0.6 g, it moves like it weighs half that. It sees Marcus and screams, a sound that starts subsonic and climbs to glass-breaking shriek. The crowd screams back. Marcus settles into a guard position, machete low and ready. His pulse is elevated but controlled, 120, maybe 130 beats per minute. Not panic. Not yet. The adrenaline is there, coiling in his gut, but he keeps it leashed. Too early to dump the chemical cocktail. Too early to commit. The Vrel hound circles him, surprisingly cautious. His tendrils flicker out, tasting the air. Analyzing. Marcus mirrors it, keeping the blade between them. The sand is a problem, no traction for explosive movement. The gravity is worse, he's already overcompensating. His hindbrain convinced he's going to float away. The hound rushes. 600 kilograms of alien predator closes the distance in seconds, impossibly fast. Marcus doesn't try to dodge in this gravity, he'd just drift. Instead, he steps forward, inside the arc of its lunge, and drives the machete up. The blade catches it in the shoulder, punching through hide and muscle. Hot fluid sprays across Marcus's chest, the blood that doesn't smell right. The hound's momentum carries it past him, and he lets the blade go rather than risk his arm being wrenched from the socket. The crowd roars. The hound tumbles, rolls, comes up bleeding but operational. The machete is still lodged in its shoulder, handle deep. Paws at the weapon with one of its middle legs. Can't get the angle to remove it. Marcus is unarmed now. First blood to the human. But has he simply made the hound angry? The hound charges again, favoring its wounded side. Marcus times it, plants his back foot, and throws his whole body into a sidestep and pivot that would be textbook in Earth gravity. Here, with a third less weight, he overshoots. His shoulder clips the hound's flank instead of clearing it entirely. The impact still sends the creature sprawling. Marcus uses the momentum, tucks into a roll that feels like flying, comes up disoriented. His inner ear is screaming. The crowd is screaming. The hound is right there, jaws close on his left forearm. The pressure is immense, teeth designed to crack shell and bone grinding down. Marcus feels the skin break, feels blood slicking his arm, but the bones hold. Dense. Overbuilt for a high-gravity world. He doesn't pull away. Instead, he leans in. His right hand finds the hound's sensory tendrils, those delicate, information-gathering appendages, and closes into a fist around a cluster of them. Then he twists. The hound releases him instantly, shrieking. Marcus rips the tendrils free. They come away with wet, popping sounds, and drives his knee into the creature's throat. In 0.6 G, the strike doesn't have his full earth weight behind it, but it's still 70 kilograms of muscle and bone density moving with intent. Something in the hound's neck crunches. It staggers back, gagging, trying to breathe through a collapsed windpipe. Marcus presses. He's bleeding from the arm, can feel the hot trickle down to his wrist, but the pain is distant, cataloged, not urgent. He retrieves the machete from the hound's shoulder, pulls it free with both hands, the blade grating on bone. The creature tries to snap at him, but its movements are slow now, uncoordinated. Oxygen deprivation. Marcus doesn't make it suffer. One clean strike across the throat, deep enough to sever the major vessels. The hound drops, twitches, goes still. Silence. Then, victorious. The human stands victorious. The crowd erupts. Not cheering. Marcus can't tell if the alien noise is approval or outrage or shock. The holographic displays update, numbers cascading too fast to follow. His arm throbs. He looks down, sees the puncture wounds, leaking blood that mixes with the hound's fluids on his jumpsuit. For deep lacerations, ragged at the edges. He'll need antibiotics. Stitches, maybe. The gate he entered through is opening. Vex'ahli stands there, all four eyes wide. Class 9, she says again, like she's testing the words. They sent us a Class 9. Marcus walks toward her, each step precise despite the gravity and the blood loss and the adrenaline starting to curdle in his system. Just another day, he says. He makes it 3 steps past the gate before his legs give out. Marcus wakes in a medical bay that smells like antiseptic and ozone. His left arm is wrapped in something that hums with low-level energy, a cellular regenerator, if he remembers the briefing materials from Proxima. The pain has dulled to a bone-deep ache. Efficient healing. A voice observes. He turns his head. The speaker is humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, bilaterally symmetrical, but the resemblance ends there. Their skin has a faint blue-gray tint, and their eyes are 2 large, pure black from edge to edge. They wear what looks like a medical coat, dark fabric with glowing seams. Doctor, Marcus asks. Physician Trell Nis. I've been reviewing your scans. Trell Nis gestures, and a holographic display materializes above Marcus's bed. It shows a skeletal system human, his remarkable bone density. Your calcium phosphate matrix is approximately 40% denser than the galactic median for bipedal species. And your muscle fiber composition. Another gesture. The display shifts to show cross-sections of muscle tissue. Type 2 fibers dominate. Fast twitch. Explosive power. Perks of a Class 9 world, Marcus says. He tries to sit up. The room tilts, but he pushes through it. I've worked in combat medicine for 18 cycles, Trell Nis says. I've never treated a human. Your file is sparse. How is your pain tolerance? I'm conscious and talking to you, Marcus points out. How bad should it be? The Vrel hound's bite generates approximately 1,200 newtons of force. The lacerations penetrated dermis, epidermis, and muscle tissue. Most species would require sedation for the pain alone. Trell Nis's expression is unreadable to alien, facial muscles in wrong configurations. You walked out of the arena. Shock, probably. Your cortisol and endorphin levels suggest otherwise. This is normal function for you. Marcus swings his legs off the bed. The floor is cold against his bare feet. They've taken his boots, left him in the torn jumpsuit. Doc, I appreciate the medical curiosity, but are we done here? Almost. Trellis produces a injector slim, silver, familiar in the way all needles are familiar. Broad-spectrum antibiotics. The hound's saliva contained 14 distinct bacterial strains. 3 are potentially fatal to humans. Marcus extends his good arm. The injection is a cold sting, then warmth spreading up the vein. Fatal how? Necrotizing fasciitis, septic shock, organ failure. Trellis pockets the injector. You'll need follow-up doses every 12 hours for the next 3 days. Cool. Anything else? Yes. Trellis meets his eyes, those two dark eyes that reflect Marcus's face in miniature. The Syndicate has scheduled your next fight. Tomorrow. That's fast. You're popular now. A human from a Class 9 world. The betting pools have tripled in volume. Pause. Your opponent is Kreshtel. He's won 47 consecutive matches. Marcus absorbs this. What's his species? Vraken. For meters tall, chitinous armor, neurotoxic claws. Trellis's voice softens, almost gentle. He's never fought a human before. That's the only advantage you have. The cell is the same number 47, 3 meters square, dripping water dispenser. But when Marcus returns, he finds he's not alone in this section anymore. Through the glass panels, he can see other prisoners watching him. The crystalline-scaled reptilian presses close to their window, head tilted in curiosity. The mantis thing clicks its blades together in what might be a salute. Vexali appears an hour later, carrying a tray. Food, Marcus realizes, a protein block, some kind of vegetable mash, a bulb of water. She slides it through the slot at the bottom of the door. Eat, she says. Your caloric expenditure in the arena was significant. Marcus picks up the protein block. It's gray and smells like nothing. He takes a bite. Tastes like textured salt. This what everyone gets? Standard nutrition for active fighters. 2,200 calories per day. That's not enough. Marcus does the math in his head. His maintenance intake is closer to 2,800. More if he's fighting regularly. I'll burn through muscle mass in a week. Vexali's mandibles flutter. Your metabolism is higher than projections? I'm from a Class 9 world. Everything about me is higher than projections. She's silent for a moment. Then, I'll adjust your allocation. But nothing comes free here, human. You fight. You win. The Syndicate profits. In return, you survive. And if I lose? Then you die entertaining. She turns to leave, then pauses. The odds on your next fight are 30-1 against you. If you survive, your value increases. If you win, she doesn't finish the sentence. If I win, then you become a problem, Vexali says quietly. The Syndicate doesn't like problems. She leaves before he can respond. Marcus eats the protein block, the mash, drinks the water. Sits heavy in his stomach, but he keeps it down. Nutrients are ammunition. He'll need every advantage. He sleeps in 2-hour intervals, a deployment rhythm that keeps him from dropping into deep REM. Every time he wakes, he runs through exercises, bodyweight squats, push-ups, core work, testing the injured arm, feeling the cellular regenerator doing its work. By the time the wake-up chime sounds, the lacerations have closed to angry pink scars. The guards come. The corridor. The prep chamber. This time, the weapon rack includes more options. Vexali stands beside it, watching him with all 4 eyes. You have credit now, she says. Your victory earned value. You can purchase better equipment. Marcus scans the options. A longer blade, almost a sword. A war hammer with a spiked head. Something that looks like a net made of razor wire. And, sitting on the bottom rack, a weapon that makes his heart rate spike. A Gerber Mark II combat knife. Earth-made. The distinctive double-edged blade, the guard, the textured grip. That one, he says, pointing. Imported, Vexali says. Expensive. It will cost all your current value. I'll earn more. She retrieves it, hands it over. The weight is perfect, the balance he learned in a dozen training courses, 100-bar fights. 7 inches of steel designed by humans for killing humans. It'll work just fine on aliens. Your opponent is armored, Vex'ali warns. A knife may not penetrate. It'll penetrate, Marcus says. The arena is packed, every tier filled with bodies and noise and the smell of 1,000 species pressed together. The holographic displays show his face, rotating slowly. Marcus Webb, Terran, Class 9 Death World. The odds update in real time. Ladies and sentience. The human returns. The crowd's response is bigger this time. Louder. Marcus can feel it in his chest. A subsonic rumble that sets his teeth on edge. His opponent tonight needs no introduction. 47 victories. 0 defeats, Kreshtael the Unyielding. The far gate opens, and Marcus understands why they call him unyielding. Kreshtael is massive, 4 meters of plated chitin that overlaps like ceramic armor. 6 limbs. For legs that end in blade points, 2 arms that terminate in claws the size of combat knives. His head is triangular, dominated by compound eyes and mandibles that drip something viscous and green. Neurotoxic, Trellin IS had said. Kreshtael enters the arena with the confidence of something that's never lost. He doesn't posture or circle. He just advances, each step precise and measured. Marcus does the math. 4 meters tall, probably 800 kilograms minimum, armored, venomous, experienced. In the old SEER courses, they call this asymmetric engagement. Unfavorable terrain. Undersupplied. They'd also say, adapt or die. Kreshtael speaks. The translator renders it in a voice like grinding gravel. You are small. You're ugly, Marcus replies. We all have problems. The crowd loves it. Alien laughter, hoots, calls. Kreshtael doesn't laugh. He rushes. Marcus goes low and lateral, staying light on his feet. In 0.6 G, footwork is different. He can cover more ground per step, but he has less traction to change direction. Kreshtael compensates, herding him toward the arena wall with his bulk. The first claw strike comes high, aimed at Marcus's head. He ducks under it, hears the air split, feels the displacement. The return strike comes low, the second claw hooking toward his legs. Marcus jumps, and in the reduced gravity, he soars higher than expected. 2 meters up, tumbling, disoriented. Kreshtael backhands him out of the air. The impact drives Marcus into the sand, explosive and total. His ribs scream. His vision whites out. The crowd noise becomes a high-pitched whine. Get up or die. He rolls sideways as a blade leg slams down where his chest was. Sand sprays. Marcus comes up moving, ignoring the pain that radiates from his ribcage. Bruised, probably. Maybe cracked. Not important. Kreshtael presses. He's faster than something that size should be. The low gravity works for him, too. Claw strikes come in combinations. High, low, feint, thrust. Marcus blocks with the knife where he can, redirects where he can't, takes hits on his shoulders and arms when there's no other option. Each impact is like being hit with a baseball bat. Chitin-reinforced limbs carrying kinetic energy that splits skin and bruises bone. But Marcus doesn't go down. Incredible resilience from the human. But how long can he endure? He can't win trading blows. Kreshtael is too armored, too strong. Marcus needs a vulnerability: joints, sensory organs, the gaps between plates. There, where the neck meets the torso, a seam in the chitin that flexes with each movement. Marcus shifts tactics. Instead of retreating, he closes distance. Gets inside Kreshtael's reach where the big claws can't generate full power. The blade legs are still a threat, but he's smaller, harder to pin down. He drives the Gerber knife into the neck seam. The blade punches through 7 inches of earth steel, finding the soft tissue beneath armor. Hot fluid sprays across Marcus's hands, different from blood. Hemolymph, the science term, surfaces from some half-remembered briefing. Kreshtael shrieks and rears back. The movement rips the knife from Marcus's grip, leaves it buried handle deep. Not a killing blow. Not yet, but first blood. Unbelievable. The human has wounded Creshtail. The champion's demeanor changes. No more measured precision. He attacks with fury, all 6 limbs working in concert. Marcus takes a claw strike across the chest that tears his jumpsuit and the skin beneath. Another catches his thigh, and he feels the burn of venom entering his system. Neurotoxic. His left leg goes numb immediately, then starts spasming. He stumbles, catches himself on one hand, sand grinding into his palm. Creshtail looms over him, mandibles spreading. You die now, soft thing. Marcus's hand closes on something in the sand, a fragment of something from a previous fight. Broken weapon, maybe. Chitin shard. Doesn't matter. He whips it at Creshtail's compound eyes. The champion flinches, and Marcus uses that half-second to lunge forward. His dead leg drags, but his arms still work. He gets both hands on the Gerber's handle and wrenches it sideways. The blade tears through the soft tissue of Creshtail's neck, finds something vital. The spray becomes a gush. The champion's legs buckle. Marcus rides him down, keeps cutting, sawing through muscle and trachea and whatever aliens have instead of carotid arteries. His hands are slick with hemolymph. His vision is tunneling venom or adrenaline or blood loss. Doesn't matter. Creshtail spasms once, twice, goes still. Silence. Then, Victor. The human is victorious. The crowd detonates. The noise is physical, a pressure wave that rolls across the arena. Marcus tries to stand, can't. His leg won't respond, the venom has spread, locking up the muscle. He drags himself off Creshtail's corpse and rolls onto his back, staring up at the lights and the tears of alien faces. His chest heaves. His heart hammers at maybe 180 beats per minute. The adrenaline is starting to crash, and he knows the pain is coming. Worth it. Vex'ahli reaches him first, followed by medical personnel with a stretcher. She stares down at him with an expression he still can't read. Class 9, she says, and this time it sounds like understanding. They carry him out to the sound of his name chanted in a dozen alien languages. Medical bay, Trell-NIS, injections and regenerators and the hum of equipment. The venom should have killed you, the physician says, working on Marcus's leg. Creshtail's neurotoxin induces complete respiratory paralysis in most species within 90 seconds. Good thing I held my breath, Marcus mumbles. He's floating on painkillers now, something that makes the edges of the room soft. Your liver metabolized the toxin at an extraordinary rate. And your muscle tissue. The spasms were protective, isolating the venom to the initial injection site. Trell-NIS sounds fascinated. Evolutionary adaptation? We had a lot of things trying to kill us back home, Marcus says. Snakes, spiders, jellyfish, scorpions. Humans who could handle venom tended to have more kids. Natural selection on a Class 9 world. Trell-NIS applies something cold to the claw wounds on Marcus's chest. You're a product of 4 billion years of survival pressure. I'm a product of bad decisions and worse luck, Marcus corrects. But he's smiling despite the pain. He sleeps for 12 hours straight, real sleep, the kind with dreams. He dreams of Earth, of rain on concrete, of the core training facility at Fort Benning, running obstacle courses in full gear. Of his sister's face the last time he saw her before shipping out. When he wakes, Vex'ahli is sitting beside his bed. You're valuable now, she says without preamble. The Syndicate has received offers. Other arenas want to book you. Corporate sponsors want to brand you. How much? Marcus asks. Enough that your freedom price has increased. She displays a hologram numbers in multiple currencies. They won't let you go easily. That's illegal. The contract said dash. The contract says you can earn your freedom. It doesn't specify the price. Vex'ahli's mandibles click softly. Every time you win, you become more valuable. The goal moves. Marcus processes this. So I fight until I die. Most do. What if I refuse? The wristband has a compliance mechanism. Neural shock. Enough to incapacitate, not enough to damage valuable merchandise. She pauses. I've seen it used. You don't want that. Marcus stares at the ceiling. The medical bay's lights are too bright, too white. Why are you telling me this? Because. Vexali hesitates, and it's the first time he's seen her unsure. I was purchased by the Syndicate too. 14 cycles ago. I earned my freedom, I thought. But the debt adjustments, the fees, the penalties, I'm still here. Running intake instead of fighting, but still here. You're a prisoner. We all are. She stands, smoothing her Syndicate uniform with 2 hands while the other 2 hang loose. Your next fight is in 3 days. Recover well, human. The routine establishes itself over the next 2 weeks. Fight, recover, fight. Each opponent more dangerous than the last. Marcus faces a pack hunter something like a wolf crossed with a raptor, all lean muscle and serrated teeth. He kills it with a hammer blow to the skull after it tears a chunk from his shoulder. He faces an energy wielder, a crystalline being that generates electrical arcs from its core. The Syndicate gives him a rubber-coated polearm. He wins by shattering the being's crystalline matrix, but his hands blister from the heat. He faces a berserker, a hulking, fur-covered creature that feels no pain and doesn't stop until its brain is destroyed. Marcus takes it down with a spear through the eye socket, but breaks 2 fingers in the process. Each victory makes him more popular. The crowds chant his name. Webb! 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 The holographic displays show his kill count, his win streak, his survival statistics. Merchandise appears: crude action figures, posters, highlight reels. He hates all of it. Between fights, he trains. The Syndicate provides better food, now real protein, complex carbs, supplements. They want their investment in peak condition. Marcus eats mechanically, fuel for the machine. He also watches, studies, the guards' patrol patterns, the lock mechanisms, the other prisoners. There are 43 fighters in the holding area. Marcus catalogs them. Species, capabilities, fight records. He learns that the mantis creature is called Skelthr, convicted of political sedition. The crystalline reptilian is Veska, a debtor like him. The tusked quadruped is Mern, who doesn't speak any language the translators recognize. He learns that they're all watching him too. On day 16, between a fight with an acid spitter and a fight with something the announcer calls a void stalker, Marcus gets a visitor. Not Vexali, not Trell Nis. The alien who enters his cell is small, maybe a meter tall, with silvery skin and oversized eyes that mark them as a species adapted to low light. They wear expensive clothes, dark fabric with bioluminescent threading. Marcus Webb, the alien says. The translator gives them a smooth corporate voice. I am Thelquos. I manage operations for this facility. Lucky me, Marcus says. He doesn't stand from the shelf bed. You've been quite profitable. Your fights generate more revenue than any 3 other fighters combined. Thelquos produces a data slate, displays cascading numbers. The Syndicate is very pleased. Great. Cut me a check and let me go. Ah yes, your freedom clause. Thelquos's expression might be a smile, hard to tell. Unfortunately, accounting has informed me that your overhead costs have increased substantially. Medical care, enhanced nutrition, premium weapons, facility wear and tear. You're moving the goalposts. I'm managing assets. Thelquos tucks away the data slate. But I'm here to offer you an opportunity. A special exhibition match. High stakes, enormous audience, unprecedented payout. Against what? Whom? Thelquos corrects. Against Krevsha, the current Galactic champion. Marcus has heard the name. Krevsha, a Thrashin combat specialist, winner of 73 consecutive matches across 4 systems. undefeated in 6 cycles. What's the payout? Marcus asks. Win and your debt is cleared. Full freedom. Transport to any registered human colony. And when I lose? If you lose, Thelquo says gently, you die in the most watched fight of the cycle. Your species gains exposure. Your legend grows. The Syndicate profits. Everyone wins. Except me. Well, yes. Marcus considers. The smart play is to refuse to keep taking easier fights, to slowly accumulate value. But the smart play assumes the Syndicate will honor the contract eventually. Vexali's words echo. The goal moves. When? He asks. 5 days. That gives you time to heal and prepare. Thelquo turns to leave, then pauses. For what it's worth, Marcus Webb, I hope you win. You're the most interesting human I've met. How many have you met? Including you? 1. The alien leaves. The cell door seals. Marcus sits in silence, running scenarios. He's going to die in 5 days. Unless, that night, Marcus stands at his cell's glass panel and taps on it knuckles against polymer. A rhythmic pattern. 3 short. 3 long. 3 short. SOS. Universal even out here. Across the corridor, Skelthr's blade limbs tap a response. 2 short, 1 long. Acknowledgement. Marcus points to his wristband, then makes a braking gesture. Skelthr tilts their mantis head, considering. Then taps. Agreement. 1 by 1, Marcus signals the other prisoners in sight. Veska, Mern, a dozen others whose names he doesn't know but whose eyes hold the same desperate hope. They're all watching him, and Marcus realizes he's not planning an escape, he's planning a revolution. The next 4 days are careful. Marcus fights his scheduled match, a relatively easy bout against a juvenile sandworm. All bulk and no strategy. He wins in under 3 minutes, barely gets scratched. The crowd boos the mismatch. Between fights, he maps every detail of the facility he can access. The prep chamber connects to the arena. The arena connects to maintenance tunnels. He's glimpsed workers moving equipment through service doors. The holding cells are on a separate level, but they share atmospheric systems with the rest of the station. The guards are well armed but complacent. They've never had an organized resistance. Why would they? The prisoners are isolated, linguistically separate, locked behind reinforced barriers with neural compliance bands. Marcus tests his band during a medical checkup. Doc, he says to Trelanius, what happens if someone tries to remove these? Trelanius looks up from the regenerator they're applying to Marcus's ribs. The bands are gene-locked. Attempt to remove yours, and it delivers a neural shock sufficient to cause brain death. What about someone else removing it? Different genetic signature. The shock is delivered to the wearer, not the remover. Why do you ask? Curious, Marcus says. That night, he signals Skelthr again. More complex this time, using hand gestures and pointed looks. Skelthr has blade limbs precision tools. If Marcus can get close enough, if he can suppress the pain response long enough, Skelthr signals back. Too dangerous. Marcus signals, freedom. Skelthr goes still. Then, slowly signals. When? Marcus holds up 5 fingers. The champion fight. When every guard and administrator will be focused on the arena. When the facility's security will be concentrated on managing the crowd. When Marcus will have access to weapons. Skelthr signals agreement. Day 5 arrives with the inevitability of orbit. The arena is transformed. The usual sparse seating has been supplemented with premium boxes, corporate banners, holographic advertisements. Marcus counts maybe 10,000 beings packed into a space designed for 3. The air circulation is struggling, and the smell is overwhelming pheromones and sweat analogs and spilled intoxicants. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all classifications, welcome to the Caldreth Pits Championship exhibition. The crowd roars. It's a physical thing. a pressure that makes Marcus's ears pop even through the translator's neural interface. In the prep chamber, Vex'ali helps him select weapons. He takes the Gerber knife, always the knife, plus a short spear with a leaf-shaped blade. Something for reach. You don't have to do this, Vex'ali says quietly. You could refuse. Take the neural shock. They'd keep you alive for future fights. And spend the rest of my life in that cell? Marcus shakes his head. I'd rather die trying. Crevshaw has killed 16 opponents. She's faster than Kreshtal, smarter than the Void Stalker, more vicious than anything you've faced. What species is she? Thrashin, reptilian ancestry, regenerative capabilities, venomous bite, razor scales. Vex'ali's mandibles click in distress. She's everything evolution designed to kill, concentrated in one body. Sounds like a fair fight, then, Marcus says. He means it as a joke, but Vex'ali doesn't laugh. She just places one of her 4 hands on his shoulder the first time she's initiated contact. Survive Marcus Webb. Show them what humans are. The arena entry is different this time. Lights track him. Holographic displays showing his stats. Marcus Webb, Terran, Class 9 Death World, 12 wins, 0 losses. The Unchained. The Unchained. Someone in marketing got creative. And her opponent, the undefeated, the unstoppable, the undisputed champion of the Caldrith Circuit KREVSHA. The far gate opens, and Crevshaw enters. She's 2.5 meters of coiled muscle and scales that shimmer like oil on water. Her body is serpentine but upright, balanced on powerful digitigrade legs. For arms, each ending in 3-fingered hands tipped with black claws. Her head is triangular, dominated by slit pupil eyes and a mouth full of translucent teeth. She moves like water, like silk, like death. Human, she says. Her voice is sibilant, the translator adding a hiss beneath the words. I've studied your fights. You rely on durability and aggression. Primitive tactics. If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid, Marcus replies. Crevshaw laughs a sound like wind through reeds. We'll see. The starting chime sounds. Crevshaw doesn't charge. She glides forward, patient and controlled. 2 of her arms hold blades curved, elegant things that catch the light. The other 2 are empty, ready to grapple. Marcus circles, keeping the spear between them. In 0.6 G, his reach advantage is amplified. He can thrust from further away. But Crevshaw has 4 arms. She can deflect and attack simultaneously. The first exchange is probing. Marcus feints high with the spear, cuts low. Crevshaw blocks both, riposts with a blade that whispers past Marcus's throat close enough to feel the air displacement. Fast. Impossibly fast. They separate, reset. The crowd is silent, watching. Crevshaw attacks for real. For arms moving in coordination, blades carving patterns through the air. Marcus blocks, parries, gives ground. The spear is good for reach but bad in close quarters. He drops it, draws the Gerber knife. Now it's intimate. Crevshaw's blades flash, and Marcus feels them kiss his skin-shallow cuts across his forearms, his shoulders, his chest, trading his flesh for positioning. He gets inside her guard and drives the knife toward her center mass. She twists serpentine, and his blade skates off her scales, those razor scales that don't just defend but cut. His knuckles split open. You're bleeding, Crevshaw observes. So are you, Marcus says. It's a lie, she hasn't bled yet. But she checks anyway, instinct, and he uses that microsecond to kick her knee. In Earth gravity, it would hyperextend. Here, it just staggers her. Enough. Marcus tackles her. 90 kilograms of human moving at full acceleration in reduced gravity. They crash into the sand together, and he's on top of her, knife reversed for downward strikes. He aims for the eyes. Crevshaw catches his wrist with 2 hands, holds it locked while her other 2 hands claw at his sides. Her claws find the gaps between his ribs, punch through jumpsuit and skin and muscle. The pain is spectacular. White hot and total. Marcus headbutts her. His forehead meets her snout bone on bone. The old Glasgow kiss. Her head snaps back, teeth clacking. He feels something in his skull crack, but her grip loosens. He rips his wrist free and stabs. The Gerber knife punches through her left eye, drives deep. Crevshaw shrieks and throws him off with all four arms. Marcus tumbles, rolls, comes up dizzy. Blood sheets down his face from the split in his forehead. His sides are leaking. Crevshaw stands, one hand clutching her ruined eye. Enough! She rushes him, discipline abandoned. All speed and fury and pain-driven aggression. Marcus doesn't have time to dodge. She hits him like a freight train, and they go down together again. Her jaws close on his shoulder, those translucent teeth sinking deep. He feels venom inject, hot and foreign. His right arm goes dead immediately. With his left hand, Marcus draws the knife from her eye socket and drives it into her throat. She bites harder. He stabs again, and again, and again. They're locked together, both dying, both refusing to let go. Marcus can't feel his right side anymore. His vision is tunneling. But his left hand keeps moving, mechanical muscle memory from 1,000 training drills. Crevshaw's bite weakens. Her arms spasm. Her body goes slack. Marcus pushes her off and rolls onto his back, staring up at the lights. His breath is ragged. His heart is stuttering. The venom is shutting down his nervous system one sector at a time. Unbelievable. The human has done it. KRVSHA is down. The crowd noise is distant underwater. Marcus tries to move, can't. His body won't respond. The venom has paralyzed everything except his heart and lungs, and those are struggling. He's going to die. He survived the fight, but not the aftermath. Figures rush into the arena. Medical personnel, guards, Vexali. They're shouting, moving too fast, their words blurring together. Too much venom dash. Regenerators can't dash. Human physiology dash. Marcus closes his eyes. He's done. He won. He killed the champion. That's enough. Has to be enough. Then a familiar voice. Activate emergency countermeasures. Full hematological flush. Deploy military-grade stimulants. Trell-NIS. That could kill him dash. He's already dying. This gives him a chance. Something stabs into Marcus's neck. Cold floods his system, then heat. Then agony as his heart kicks into overdrive, pumping blood and venom and drugs through vessels that feel like they're tearing. He convulses, gasps. His back arches off the sand. Again, Trell-NIS commands. Another injection. More fire. His metabolism shifts into a gear he didn't know existed. Every cell screaming as it burns through the venom faster than should be possible. Cardiac rhythm stabilizing. Neural function returning. By the ancients, it's working. Marcus's fingers twitch. Then his toes. Feeling returns in waves, first as pins and needles, then as comprehensive pain. Every wound, every broken bone, every torn muscle reporting simultaneously. He's alive. Get him to medical. Now. They lift him onto a stretcher. As they carry him out, Marcus turns his head enough to see Crevshaw's body still lying in the sand. Blade arms spread, one eye socket empty. The unchained indeed. Recovery takes 2 days. Marcus spends it floating on painkillers and regenerators, his body knitting itself back together with the stubborn persistence that kept his ancestors alive through ice ages and plagues. When consciousness fully returns, he finds Thelquos sitting beside his bed. Congratulations, the facility manager says. You're free. Marcus tries to sit up, fails. Say that again. Your debt is cleared. The contract is fulfilled. You can leave whenever you're medically cleared. Thelquos produces a data slate, displays the documentation. Transport to Proxima Hub has been arranged. From there, you can access human colonial space. It should feel like victory. Feels like ash. What about the others? Marcus asks. Skelthr. Veska. All the fighters still in cells. They have their own contracts. Contracts you'll manipulate forever. Moving the goalposts, adjusting the costs. Telquosa's expression is unreadable. That's business. That's slavery. A harsh word dash. An accurate one. Marcus forces himself to sit up despite the pain. I'm not leaving without them. You don't have a choice. Your wristband will be removed, and you'll be escorted to the transport. What happens to the facility afterward is not your concern. Make it my concern. How? Marcus meets those oversized eyes. The fight with Crevshaw was broadcast across 4 systems. You said it yourself, most watched fight of the cycle. I'm famous now. If I go public with what happens here, the Syndicate's whole operation gets exposed. Slander. You have no proof. I have scars. I have Trellin-IS's medical records showing systematic exploitation. And I have 43 other fighters who'll testify. Marcus leans forward. Your choice. Release them all, or I burn this place down in the press. Telquos is silent for a long moment. Then, you're bluffing. Try me. Another pause. Then the facility manager stands, smoothing their expensive clothes. I'll consult with the board. You do that. Telquos leaves. Marcus lies back, exhausted from the effort. His heart is pounding, adrenaline burning through the painkiller haze. Vexali enters a few minutes later. You threatened them. I negotiated. They'll never agree. The fighters are worth millions. Then I'll find another way. Marcus looks at her. How hard would it be to sabotage the wristbands? Without killing everyone wearing them? Very hard. Vexali's mandibles flutter. But not impossible. The control system runs through the central security hub. If someone accessed it, they could disable the shock mechanisms before removing the bands. Where's the hub? Station level 3. Behind multiple security checkpoints. Armed guards. Biometric locks. She pauses. Why are you asking? Because I'm not leaving anyone behind, Marcus says. Medical clearance comes on day 3. Trellin-IS removes the regenerators, scans his vitals, declares him fit for transport. Your resilience is remarkable, the physician says. Most beings would have died from Crevshaw's venom. Your liver metabolized it in 74 hours. Death world perks, Marcus says. He's wearing new clothes, actual clothes, not a prison jumpsuit. Dark pants, a gray shirt, boots. They feel strange after weeks in synthetic fabric. There's something else, Trellin-IS says quietly. Your medical records. The full scans. I've been ordered to delete them. Why? Because they prove you were treated as a slave, not a contract fighter. Medical intervention below galactic standards, inadequate nutrition, forced combat while injured. Trellin-IS hands him a data chip. I made a copy. Against regulations. If you truly intend to expose the Syndicate, you'll need evidence. Marcus pockets the chip. You could get in trouble for this. I became a physician to heal, not to enable suffering. Trellin-IS's dark eyes hold his. Do what you came to do, human. Marcus nods. I will. But first, I need to get to level 3. That's impossible. You're being escorted directly to Dash. Document. Marcus smiles. I survived Crevshaw. Impossible is just a target. The escort consists of 2 guards, the same armored hulks that have been herding him around for weeks. They lead him toward the transport docks, taking a route that bypasses the holding cells. They don't expect him to attack. Marcus waits until they're in a narrow corridor, away from surveillance. Then he moves. Weeks of arena combat have taught him exactly how to fight in 0.6G, how to generate power, how to use momentum, how to break things. He drives his elbow into the first guard's throat right below the helmet seal. Chitin cracks. The guard staggers, gagging. Marcus rips the shock stave from his grip and jams it into the second guard's knee joint. Violet energy arcs. The guard convulses and drops. The first guard is recovering, reaching for an alarm. Marcus hits him with the stave full power, aimed at the head. The helmet absorbs most of it, but the kinetic transfer is enough. The guard crumples. Marcus drags both bodies into a maintenance closet, strips one of armor. It doesn't fit well built for a different body structure, but he gets the chest piece and helmet on. Good enough for a quick glance. He finds a terminal, accesses the station map. Level 3. Security hub. 2 floors down, 3 corridors over. He moves. The armor helps other guards see the silhouette and don't look closely. He passes through 2 checkpoints with confidence and a curt nod. At the third, a supervisor stops him. Identification, she demands. Some species Marcus doesn't recognize, all scales and suspicion. He hits her with the shock stave and keeps moving. Alarms start blaring. He's out of time. The security hub is a reinforced door with a biometric lock. Marcus doesn't have clearance. He does have a shock stave and the desperate strength of someone with nothing to lose. He jams the stave into the door's control panel and triggers maximum discharge. The panel explodes in sparks and smoke. The lock disengages. The door slides open. Inside, 3 technicians stare at him in shock. The room is packed with holographic displays, control systems, surveillance feeds showing every corner of the facility. "Nobody move," Marcus says, dropping the ruined stave and pulling the Gerber knife from his belt. He'd kept its spoils of war. "I need the wristband control system. Now." One technician, small, furred, trembling, points to a console. "Theta cluster. B, but you can't disable them all at once." The feedback would dash. "Show me." The technician does. The system is complex, but the basic interface is intuitive. Individual controls for each band, master overrides, safety protocols. Marcus scans it, finds what he needs. "How do I disable the shock mechanism without alerting anyone?" You'd need to input an override code. But that requires administrator access dash. Marcus presses the knife to the technician's throat, not hard enough to cut, but close. "Find a way." Shaking, the technician works. Their fingers fly over holographic keys, navigating security layers. "There. I've created a maintenance window. 10 minutes where the shock mechanisms are disabled for testing. But after that dash, 10 minutes is enough." Marcus memorizes the control sequence. "Thank you. Now get out." The technicians flee. Marcus locks the door behind them and triggers the override. On every screen, wristbands flicker from red to amber. Shock mechanisms. Disabled. He pulls out the data chip Trellin gave him and slots it into the console. Then he activates the facility-wide announcement system. "Attention all fighters," he says, his voice echoing through every cell, every corridor. "This is Marcus Webb. For the next 10 minutes, your wristbands can't shock you. If you want freedom, take it. Hit your bands on the cell walls, rip them off, help each other. Then head to the holding area. We're leaving together." He cuts the connection and runs. By the time Marcus reaches the holding cells, chaos has erupted. Prisoners are smashing their wristbands against walls, cell doors, anything hard enough to break the gene-locked mechanisms. Guards are rushing in, shock staves ready, but their weapons are useless without the compliance threat. Marcus hits the emergency release for all cells simultaneously. 43 prisoners pour out. SkelTHR is first to reach him, blade limbs gleaming. They click rapidly: excitement, gratitude, battle readiness. "Everyone out," Marcus shouts. "Head for the loading docks. Stay together." They move as a Group A flood of species and sizes and survival instincts. Guards try to form a line, but they're outnumbered and facing things they've only seen locked up. A warrior caste alien whose 120 fights is a different problem than a prisoner in a cell. The guards break. Marcus leads the group through the corridors he'd mapped, toward the docks. Behind them, alarms wail and reinforcements mobilize. But they're fast, coordinated by shared desperation. They reach the docks. A dozen transport ships sit in berths, various sizes and configurations. Marcus points to the largest cargo hauler marked with corporate logos. That one. Everyone on board. Veska, the crystalline reptilian, Lopez to the hauler's controls. I can pilot this. Do it. The prisoners pile in. Marcus does a head count 43, all present. Skelthr guards the loading ramp, blade limbs ready for pursuit. Vexali appears, running full speed on all four legs. Marcus, come on. He extends a hand. She takes it, lets him pull her aboard. I'm abandoning my post. They'll hunt me. They'll hunt all of us. Better together. Marcus grins. Besides, you helped me. Time to return the favor. The hauler's engines rumble to life. The dock's atmospheric shield shimmers as it prepares to cycle. Thelquos appears on the dock, flanked by armed security. Stop! You're in violation of Dash. Marcus flips him off, a gesture that translates across cultures. Then he slaps the ramp control. The hauler lurches forward, momentum carrying it through the shield and into the void. Stars will overhead. The station shrinks behind them. Inside the cargo hold, 43 former prisoners stare at each other, then at Marcus. Silence. Then, slowly, a clicking sound. Skelthr, tapping their blades together. Others join in vocalizations, gestures, species-specific expressions of joy and relief and disbelief. It builds into a cacophony, a celebration in a dozen languages. Marcus slumps against the bulkhead, exhausted. His body is screaming at him, fights and venom and improvised armor all taking their toll. But he's smiling. Vexali settles beside him. Where do we go now? Proxima Hub, Marcus says. I've got contacts there. We'll get everyone sorted asylum applications, transport to home systems, whatever they need. He looks at the crowd. Nobody's property anymore. The Syndicate will retaliate. Let them try. Marcus pulls out the data chip. I've got evidence. Medical records. Facility layouts. Financial transactions. We're going to burn their whole operation down. Vexali's mandibles flutter amusement. Approval. You humans. Death world bred. Relentless when you choose a cause. We're also really good at holding grudges, Marcus says. The hauler accelerates, engines burning bright. Behind them, the Cauldrith Pits dwindles to nothing, just another station in an endless galaxy. But smaller now, less important, because 43 people are free. And one human learned that sometimes the fight isn't just for survival. Sometimes it's for each other. 3 months later, Marcus sits in a hearing chamber on Proxima Hub, watching Galactic prosecutors present evidence against the Syndicate. The data chip Trellin IS gave him proved to be a goldmine, enough documentation to trigger investigations across 4 systems. Vexali testifies about contract manipulation. Skelthr provides details on political prisoners disappeared into the pits. Veska describes debt slavery. One by one, the 43 freed fighters tell their stories. The Syndicate collapses. Assets frozen. Executives arrested. The Cauldrith Pits shut down permanently. Marcus doesn't testify. He doesn't need to. His scars speak for him. After the hearing, he finds Trellin waiting outside. The physician looks tired but satisfied. You did it, Trellin says. We did it, Marcus corrects. Couldn't have without your evidence. What will you do now? Good question. Marcus's criminal record has been expunged. Turns out assaulting a child trafficker looks a lot better when it's properly contextualized. He could go anywhere, do anything. He thinks of Earth, of home, of family he hasn't seen in years. He thinks of the 43 faces watching him in that cargo hold, newly free and terrified and hopeful. I think I'll stay out here, Marcus says. A lot of people get sold into bad situations. Prisoners, debtors, refugees. Someone should help them. A human advocacy network? Trelawney sounds intrigued. Something like that. Marcus smiles. Turns out being from a Class 9 world comes with perks. We're hard to kill, we don't quit, and we're really good at improvising solutions. And breaking things, Trelawney adds. Especially that. They watch the hearing chamber empty freed prisoners reuniting with families, journalists chasing prosecutors, bureaucrats managing the chaos of justice. For what it's worth, Trelawney says, I'm glad the galaxy met you, Marcus Webb. Just Webb is fine. Marcus extends his hand, that human gesture of connection. And thanks, Document, for everything. Trelawney takes his hand. Their grip is gentle, careful. Stay alive out there, Death Worlder. I'll do my best. Marcus leaves the hub and boards a transport bound for the outer colonies, places where regulations are loose and people disappear into corporate machinery. Places that need someone who understands what it's like to be property and what it takes to fight free. He carries the Gerber knife in a sheath at his belt. Cleaned, sharpened, ready. Because the galaxy is vast and full of beings who prey on the weak. But now it has one more human in it. And humans don't quit. They never have.